My name is James Martinez. I'm an author, a writer, a poet, photographer, and a filmmaker. And I've been making some videos for quite some time regarding the messages that I share with people in regards to God and meeting Him and walking with Him and writing for Him. I wanted to share a little bit about some of the things that I've been a part of. I've done some extraordinary things with God. I've had the blessing to be able to make it up to heaven. I didn't die. It wasn't a dream. I didn't hallucinate. It was absolutely real. As real as you and I are talking and you listening to this conversation right now, as real as this. And thankfully, by His grace, I was able to visit with Him, and He shared so much with me, and I wanted to share some of the things that He shared with me. I wanted to share some of those things with you. Some of the things that I learned along the way, I can say directly came from my past experiences, having gone through the things that I went through in order to learn what not to do, but at the same time in order to be able to learn what we're supposed to be doing. I can tell you that I've read the Bible, extensively, and know it well enough that God placed it on my heart, that when I read it or think of it, that I can look at the world right now and see directly its application, where it's supposed to be applied, how it's supposed to be lived and done, and actions that are supposed to be taken on a daily basis, that sort of thing. At the same time, I can also see where we're not doing that, on a global level, as well as on an individual level. By God's grace, I've been through so many different places to produce these works, to write. One of the places that I went through quite often was jail. I had an opportunity to meet quite a few people that were in jail, and all of them in there for various reasons, but none of them, for the most part, seemed to know why they were there in the first place. And that's quite disturbing when you think about the ways of the world today, what's going on. I think about how far misled people are in terms of not even realizing that they're doing wrong, or so consumed with themselves that they disregard everyone and everything, including God and the law. And unfortunately, that's what causes the issues that we don't want for within life. But having the opportunity to meet with people that were going through those sorts of things, I realized just how far some people are in their understanding of how we're supposed to be doing things. So I write on a daily basis, posts and messages, and different microblogs, and different books, and I create videos, and I do the things that we do in order to help lead people back to a better understanding of how to do things within the world. You can turn on the television right now and see so much of it going in the wrong direction. Unfortunately, this is the circumstances that we found ourselves in today. The people out there doing all the things wrong don't think it any less than what they're doing. It talks about that within the Bible itself. It talks about those who do all the wrong things, not only, approve of it, but they consort with the ones who are doing it wrong also. And I've had that experience as well. And the reason for that is that, when you're in that way, you want to continue to think that it's okay to continue to do things like that. And truthfully, it's not. God has so much grace that He lets us make it. And, it's mercy until it's justice. And then after a while, if that doesn't get the point, then it's death. And I've seen that happen many times through, different scenarios and people that I've worked with over the years. But, the ways of the world are amazing when you think of what we're able to do within it. We're able to do anything. And, we're able to create beautiful things. But when we lose sight of that sort of thing, and we start doing things in an unrighteous way, and it starts causing the pain and suffering that we see going on within the world right now, well, that stuff's not right. And to get past ourselves is a pretty big deal. when you think about the flesh and the desires and the wanting and that sort of thing, we're capable of going out there and giving ourselves, many things. We can give ourselves this, and we can go and work for this, and we can, earn enough money to go out and buy, in this day and age, anything we please. But not everything that's out there is good for us. So when you factor in the things that we're caught up with internally, and that's the sin nature of men and women, unfortunately, but if you think about the things that we get caught up with, that's the sort of stuff that is challenging to get past. Take a drinker, for example, a person who suffers from alcoholism, or can't put the drink down. His body tells him that he needs that every day, and this is what he's caught up in, and it's self-destruction. He knows deep down within his heart, that person, whoever he might be, that he knows that that's not right, but that's what he wants. And because of the power that we have within us, we're able to give ourselves what we want, and the cycle continues and continues and continues and continues till destruction happens. Well, that same sort of thing goes on, all around the world in various ways, but the only way to be able to get past ourselves is to realize, first off, that we're not supposed to give ourselves absolutely everything that we want. And, even though we want it, doesn't mean that we need it. So there's so many ways to be mindful of getting past oneself. But, when you factor in what's in addition to that, what else is there to get past? Well, there's the ways of the world. And that's where I think so many people struggle, because if you turn on the television and you turn on and you see those things that appear to be normal, but they're really not, then that's the sign of the times, is letting us know that just because you see something going on out there doesn't mean that that's necessarily what we're supposed to be doing, right? That's, if you see sin going on and you think nothing the less of it, well, then that just means that you're caught up within yourself. So I'm bringing this to attention because in order to be able to get past ourselves and the ways of the world and really rise above it all, we have to exercise self-discipline. You have to become more selfless. You have to practice doing the sorts of things that God really calls us to, and there's a good reason for that. And the reason is this, is that everything within this world, everything, it's going to pass away. Everything is going to die. Everything is temporary within this world. The flesh itself. We walk around living our lives every day, not knowing when our time's coming, but there's an inevitable fact that we are going to pass from this world. We all are going to pass from this world, as is everything in this world. So trying to live with simply this mind and this world and being mindful of only what goes on here is quite foolish if you really think about it, because what's really going on here is this is a preparation for what's to come. There is an afterlife. There is a spiritual afterlife. And regardless if people don't believe it or understand it or get it, but there is an absolute afterlife that comes to all of us. And it's something that we need to be spiritually mindful while we're living within the material world. So that brings us back to what we're supposed to be doing and how we're supposed to be doing it. And if you look back to what God asks of us, He says to follow His commandments, to do what's right by Him. And when you do that, then you'll be living in the way that He asks us to. And if you want to know what that way is, we can look back to Jesus. Jesus was the first one who showed us how to do the things that God our Father was asking of us. And when you have that way within your life, then things will start to get better. You'll be spiritually mindful of how to go about doing things on a daily basis. People that are living within your lives are going to start benefiting from that. And, the world will become a better place, not just from your standpoint, but from everybody's standpoint, starting from that position where you're at. So I bring this up because there are things that we're supposed to be doing within the world. Yes, we're supposed to be enjoying our lives and living our lives and doing the sorts of things that we're doing now, but we're also supposed to be including God in the things that we're doing and living in the way that He asks us to. And if you're not doing that, my friend, then you're either part of the problem or you are the problem.